Heyo, what is up everyone? It is the Alpha J of the Alpha J Show, and I guess I'll talk a little bit about topical content now, even though I'm probably considered late. So Close Enough is an animated sitcom coming to TBS, created by J.G. Quintel, the same person who created Regular Show. Quintel isn't exactly leaving Cartoon Network as number 1, their studio is animating it, and 2, Time Warner owns both TBS and Cartoon Network. Animation World Network describes Close Enough as, quote, a surreal take on transitioning from 20-something to 30-something. The show centers on a married couple juggling such everyday challenges, such as parenthood, friendship, ham theft, stripper clowns, and choosing the right daycare. So if you are interested in the next step J.G. Quintel is taking after his Emmy-winning cartoon, here is everything you need to know. But before we begin, I want to shout out this art piece here from Butch Hartman's Twitter feed. It's a very realistic portrayal of Fairly Odd Parents, and yes, as the tweet states, nightmare fuel. Make sure to check it out in the description below and give it tons of support. So before we get into Close Enough, let's rewind back to January 16th, 2017, the day that a regular epic final battle aired. And if you don't know, and I don't blame you, that is the finale of Regular Show, the last episode if you want to call it that, of the 8th and last season. Side rant, I tried to find the schedule for Cartoon Network around January 16th. This was legitimately the hardest thing to do because people didn't start preserving the network until it either became a problem, convergence, or a way to talk about Cartoon Network's poor scheduling. And I want to shout out this Tumblr site, blog, I don't know how it works, but I want to shout them out because they are preserving the network because someday down the line, you may want to know for a video or whatever, and this person here has you covered. So around the time of Regular Show's finale, they aired Shrek and Teen Titans Go. Now I'm sure you've heard the Teen Titans Go side tons of times. I've even made a meme of this on my own Twitter, but I'll save you the trouble of searching for this by linking the specific tweet in the description below. Shrek, however, gathers no excuses. Shrek is old, specifically 16 years old, and that a 16-year-old film had more priority than giving context to the Regular Show finale, especially because this show kind of got Cartoon Network on a roll. While Adventure Time gathered the gamer, comic book, anime, internet-y type of crowd, Regular Show had a more mature edge. And like Rick and Morty now, you can talk about Regular Show a lot more comfortably than, let's say, Clarence to a fellow teen or adult. I know Shrek launched DreamWorks as a prime competitor to Pixar, but did they really need to remind us of this on the same day that we would never see new Regular Show episodes again? It was this, and the Uncle Grandpa finale, which aired in June, and the last time we've seen Uncle Grandpa on Cartoon Network was, you guessed it, June, although some shorts say that they aired in July, which is weird, but it was all of this, really, that added fuel to the fire of a certain crowd not liking how Cartoon Network treats their shows. I personally think that if they can pull some strings to air Teen Titans now, it wouldn't hurt to air Regular Show, because at least it would create interest in J.G. Quintel's future projects, as not only kids watch Regular Show, although yes, it did have a drop-off, there is tons of factors that people don't realize. People assume that the show just dropped off because Teen Titans Go or whatever else they want to throw at it, but at least consider the following. Regular Show took twists and turns that made the seasons that began and the ending seasons much different. Airing these new episodes would cause people who haven't seen the older episodes to be either confused and needing to catch up or uninterested nevertheless. The network also knows that there is much more stock in airing new episodes than older episodes because it is most likely the case that people maybe haven't seen the newer episodes, and more eyes lead to bigger payouts with advertisements. Roughly. So with this, Cartoon Network will most likely air the newest season and not so much of the old stuff. And again, this may lead to drop off in viewers that maybe haven't been able to catch up. Now some may still blame this on the schedule, which was messed up back in 2016 as well. But those same people are on the internet and could have easily caught up. If you can write a nasty comment under a CN schedule hate video, you can find the various means to get your Regular Show fill. You know what continuity lock probably doesn't apply to? Episodic shows. A story-heavy show is most likely not episodic in nature. Now, is Regular Show story-heavy? Yes, it really is. But is regular show episodic? Well, in the first few seasons, sure, you can watch a good majority of it out of order. The issue lies in which they go to space, and you have certain episodes that become a lot more serious on the stories they're telling then. So as far as continuity goes, it is in a gray area. This is why your favorite story-heavy show wouldn't work too well as the cash cow. A show like SpongeBob works very well because you don't need to watch any previous episode to enjoy a later episode. A show like Gumball you can enjoy, starting from any episode. However, with their later seasons, watching an episode like The Romantic, for example, where Gumball and Penny seem to be already together, and then watching The Date, where Gumball and Penny haven't gotten together, could be confusing. Another thing to consider is when these new episodes were being aired. Season 8 started off airing around 8 p.m., which is most likely as prime time as you may get, although some people may say 6 for Cartoon Network. It did as well as it could in this season, gathering 1 million people watching when it starts. It reached its lowest peak, a 0.82, not even 1 million people, but still airing at 8 p.m. In fact, through all of 2016, it seemed to air regular show at 8 p.m., give or take. Some of the sources expired because, again, preserving these things seemed to be less common than you'd think. But at the turn of the year, 2017, regular show had a different airtime, this time at 12 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. for Saturday and Monday respectively. Now before you get up in arms about Cartoon Network sabotaging the end of regular show, bear in mind that they aired new episodes on the weekend. But it was that inconsistency that may have led to less viewership as well. So when people seem to blame Teen Titans Go spam across the schedule as the true reason, just note that Cartoon Network dropped the ball way before the finale. The finale was just the tip of the iceberg, and many people don't bother to swim deeper and see the airing time change and the fact that people dropped off from the show. So with a 1-hour finale on January 16th, regular show was now an afterthought to Cartoon Network. So let's fast forward to May 17th, 2017. Deadline releases an article stating that TBS has given green lights to Close Enough, an animated series from regular show creator J.G. Quintel. And even now, we don't have a lot of information about the show, which is why even I wouldn't admit this is more speculation than hard information. However, it is truly interesting to me that Adult Swim would most likely not be the only network that is emerging with animated adult shows that directly links back to the people who grew up watching this stuff on Cartoon Network. Again, the people who watch regular show would most likely grow up and grow into watching Close Enough. It's a nice and smooth transition that may sprout TBS into getting some traction with animation, but I will get into that later. TBS ordered 13 episodes of Close Enough and it will come out around 2018 as a collaboration between Cartoon Network Studios and TBS, but more specifically, Studio T. There isn't much known about them except that they're also working on other animated projects for TBS, one of them being Final Space. I don't remember many ads here on YouTube, but an animation advertisement sure does stick out to me because of my line of work. In fact, in this video here, if you go to 2 minutes and 50 seconds, around there, you can see TBS is really pushing for animation on their channel. You also have 2 other animated shows, The Cops and Tarantula. However, because of the title of this video, I won't talk about those, but if you guys like, I could dive deeper into the other 3 cartoons from TBS Animation if you are interested. So now that we've talked about the past and we've talked about the future, let's talk about the present. Kinda. With over 1 million views on TBS's main channel, they released a teaser for Close Enough. You can see all over this teaser that they tend to show more adult moments in the show. Luckily, at least from what the comments read, people didn't assume that just because the teaser was filled to the brim with raunchy adult stuff doesn't mean that the show will just be raunchy adult stuff. I would like to predict that it will be a healthy balance between the mature edge and a good story that anyone could enjoy. But again, that's a guess, and I could be wrong. I can also take a shot on why they went down this route. Maybe they want to communicate with the viewer that this is not for kids, despite having the same style of regular show in terms of their art style. It seems to focus a lot on comedy, but I feel like Quintel may do just the same thing that he did with regular show and have it get more serious in the later seasons, having this season focus more on drawing in as much people as possible. It's a great teaser, and I will link it in the card and description. It's full of edge, it's full of style, that we've come accustomed to if you've watched regular show before, and I think I've heard Mordecai in one of the characters. So what do you think about Close Enough? Are you excited as I am to actually see how this goes? Would you also watch the other shows on this TBS Animation block? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll make sure to do a review of the show in due time when it comes out, but for now, 50% speculation, 50% background information. I predict it will either be really good or run-of-the-mill. I can't see JG Quintel making a bad show. Let's hope I'm right. But besides that, make sure to follow me at The Alpha J Show on Twitter for updates, memes, polls, whatever's on my mind, and join my public Discord. And if you have a request, whether it's an episode, character clash, whatever reboot, really anything within the realm of animation, let me know in my request video, which is always in my description below, as well as the card above. If you really like this video, I highly suggest my regular show Scenes Like This. Or if you are a super fan of regular show, this panel here talks about Close Enough from the creator himself. Make sure to subscribe and feel free to consider my Patreon. As always, I hope your time is well spent, and Alpha out.